What's going on, everybody? It is Dukes and Bell on a Monday, and a hell of a Monday it's going to be. We've got a lot to chop up and a lot to talk about. Obviously, the Dawgs' big win over Ole Miss. Georgia Tech continues to roll, and they are in the top 10. The Atlanta United fire their manager. And, Mike, it's been a hell of a season. And, you know, we had Brad Guzan on the show, should I say, Friday. He played his last match, but United has a lot of work to do. And then on top of all of that, obviously, we're talking plenty of Falcons with you guys here on the show today. Starting at 2 o'clock, make sure you're here at Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. First and foremost, fellas, how was your weekend, man? Everybody good?
Oh, yeah, man. Good, man. On a boat,
all right.
Yeah.
I will tell a quick story today on the show. It was parent weekend up in Kentucky, so we went up to see my daughter, and along the way, we made a couple of stops, and maybe we were sitting next to someone very famous. Check that out at 2 o'clock today. We'll tell the story later in the show. But, Mike, let's talk about what happened last night, because I will tell you, like most Falcon fans, I think we're very frustrated in the fact that we can't string wins together. There are a lot of reasons why, but we can't have a great win like Buffalo and then go out to San Francisco. They're decimated by injuries, and then put another win together. And so this team, guys, we're 500. We are what our record says we are. And, Mike, I think right now there are a lot of reasons to point to this is not a good offensive football team. But more importantly, are we a good football team, period?
Well, we're a schizophrenic football team. We're a team that has no consistency. And that's about coaching. I mean, how do you have 12 men on the field, then 10 men on the field on a crucial drive? You don't have Bijan on the field on a 4th and 1. We knew they were depleted. You let their next linebacker come in. It looked like the guy was even better than the guy that got injured. There's so many things about this game to unpack. I hated the play calling, quitting on the run game. Wide receiver play. We spent all week talking about who's going to make some plays at wide receiver. Penix looked shook. First game, Elijah Wilkinson was really ineffective. They were getting anything they wanted, Carl. They owned our offensive line, and we had no counterpunch. And then all those coaching things. Another half goes where we can't get points before halftime. Coaching and clock management. I mean, this was bad. And to me, inconsistency, guys, I don't know where you fall on this. To me, that's about coaching.
No, there's no doubt. Here's what I've heard from this loss last night. And look, I'm not buying into this, that Shanahan's a better coach. Maybe he is. That the 49ers have been at a different plateau than we've been at. So this loss is somewhat acceptable. Bullshit. Let me say this. This is not Ra's first coaching job. The idea that he is a rookie head coach going up against an experienced Kyle Shanahan is a weak narrative. He, along with the rest of his coaching staff, has got to do a better job in stepping up in these moments, Mike. And you're right about the clock management. Look, we can continue to ignore these things, but these moments where we don't score or we don't get points have come back to bite us. And so now it's like every time at the end of a half, or you have a situation, what is technically situational football. They practice this stuff all the time, and yet we can't execute and come through in these moments. And, Mike, I'm not ready to accept, well, we lost to a better team and a better coach. Not last night we didn't. What do you think, Day-Day?
Honestly, I just thought it was a matter of the fact that they could, to your point, a lot of bad mistakes, penalties. I mean, even on the best drive we had tonight that only resulted in a field goal, we had the 2 penalties, offensive penalties, one on Elijah Wilkinson, who you mentioned. And like you said, Mike, this was probably one of the first time we probably would say anything negative about how he played. But and then just I felt like some of there was some questionable some play calling too, as far as like that 4th and 1 in the 4th quarter. Take the 3 points. I mean, all this we don't trust. I know we joked around a lot last week about not trusting, Parker Romo, this, that, and third. You were at the 49ers 35-yard line. Take the 3 points. Keep the game manageable. Don't let it get out of hand. The 12 men on the field penalty defensively. Michael Penix throwing the ball out of bounds and getting the to end the first half and getting the intentional grounding, and so it results in the 10-second runoff. Just a lot of like very rookie-ish style of football, in my opinion, last night.
Yeah, Mike, what were you going to say?
No, just to echo that. I mean, again, you got 12 men on the field, then you got 10 men on the field. It's 3rd and 13. They got one weapon, Christian McCaffrey. Can't stop him. We talked about it. And the other thing, when Divine Diablo went out, Nate Landon and Orin just can't do the stuff they're asking him to do. So there were just so many things that just not to like about this game. I thought that we were ill-prepared. We knew exactly what they were going to do, and they did it. They ran McCaffrey, and we couldn't stop it. And I thought offensively we were going to set the tone. Anytime we have to counterpunch, it's like Zach Robinson just gets, I don't know, he chokes. He gets tight, and the team reflects it. And Penix did not have a good day.
Yeah, guys, and it was J.D. Bertrand who came in for Divine Diablo, and you're right, and he couldn't do the job because he doesn't have the speed or the length, which is why Divine Diablo's been so effective for the Falcons this season. He is an unsung hero on this defense. Look, defense isn't our problem, and we're going to talk about this today a lot on the show. We're certainly going to take plenty of your phone calls. It's Dukes and Bell. Show starts at 2 today. It is a big Falcon Monday as we look back at this game last night. We got all week to look ahead, but the Dolphins are a mess. And if you want to tell me it's acceptable to lose to the 49ers, which it wasn't, you had a chance to win this game. You could have taken control. You came out in the second half, went down and scored, but you blew it. But if you're going to tell me it's acceptable, which many of you are like, it's not a bad loss. We're 500. I don't buy that. I'll tell you what's not acceptable. It's to lose to the Dolphins. If you lose to the Dolphins on Sunday, that's not acceptable. And no stretch of the imagination in any universe, wherever you want to be, that's not acceptable with where we've been and what we're capable of. So, Mike, let me ask you about this too, because go ahead. Oh, you want to add something? Go ahead.
No, I just want to jump in here real quick. Like our Carlos, I got a couple points to make real quick here. What's the personality of this football team?
We don't have one. It's running the football, but even that we go away from.
You can look at like the Jets. They're horrible, and everybody knows they're horrible. The Dolphins, everyone knows they're horrible, and they're horrible. The Chiefs, they're quality. Everybody knows they're quality. We're 7 weeks into this football season. I have zero idea what this football team is. Zero idea. I don't know from an inconsistency standpoint what they are on offense. And you mentioned that defense wasn't the problem last night. I get that. But I saw a stat last night. Christian McCaffrey had more rushing yards inside the tackles last night than he did all season long. And you mean to tell me for an entire week, the coaching staff preached that, hey, this is the guy we need to stop. This is the guy we need to stop. And he accounted for 62% of the Niners' total offensive output last night. So I look at the top, and it kind of trickles down as to where, like, what's the personality of this football team like? I don't know yet. And 7 weeks in, I shouldn't be asking that question about the football team. It trickles down to all levels, too. Like, I see Michael Penix. I want Penix to be further along than what he is right now, and I realize he's in Game 8. But even him being in Game 8, there's some things he's doing in Game 8 of his career that he probably shouldn't be doing. So it just seems like from all levels on down, I have no idea what this football team is.
Well, there's a personality on the personality is it's bipolar, Carly. That's what I said. It's schizophrenic because we should be a power run team. No, I mean, I don't know about you guys. 14 run plays for Bijan, and that's it. You say we can't get the run going. Remember, guys, the 49ers depleted with injuries. They had high safeties, and their front seven stopped our run game cold, and we didn't have a plan B. I mean, that's advantage to Saleh and company, man. Get out coached.
Yeah, well, to your point about the run game, guys, one of the things that stood out to me was the fact that there was so many formations of Bijan out wide, in motion. Like, he wasn't even hardly lining up behind Michael Penix in the backfield. And so that was one thing that stood out to me. I'm like, you're not even utilizing your best running. I get wanting to get him involved in different ways, but pound the ball down their throat. That's what you're good at.
They got out-bullied last night. The 49ers hit the Falcons in the mouth, and you said there was no counterpunch. Like, the fact that they just ran the football at the Falcons all night long. And, we started off the game with a sack, and it seemed pretty exciting, and everything was great with that. But from an up-front standpoint, like, on both sides of the football, the Falcons got pushed around last night. And, like, to Mike's point right there, like, we don't know who this football team is yet, and that is extremely, extremely frustrating right now.
So the reality of last night is Kyle Shanahan went to his horse and we got off ours.
Yeah.
He rode his, we got off of ours. If last night you would have told me, oh, that Bijan accounted for 62% of the offense, what does this game look like?
Oh,
That gets back to
my
my
double digits easily. By double digits
correct.
easy.
Correct. So, and by the way, Shanahan did this a few weeks ago when they played the Rams. They didn't have anybody, and he was like, "Cool, I'm gonna throw it to Christian McCaffrey 10 times. He gets 10 balls, has 100 yards receiving almost, and then ran the ball down their throat." That is the frustrating part about Zach Robinson for us. I don't know about you guys, but it's these moments where you go, "Why are we getting off of our horse? Why are we not riding our strength?" Kyle Shanahan knew the only way he could win this game last night. He didn't give a damn about our defense, what they were going to try to do. With this, the only way I can win. We're going to go to McCaffrey as much as I possibly can, and I don't care what that looks like. For whatever reason, 6 weeks into the season, we don't do that with Bijan. And we've seen it numerous times now in games where we've gone away from him. So that is a frustrating thing that I don't have the answer to, Mike. I don't know if Ra's on the headset saying, hey, let's go to be more, but he needs to be.
Well, they tried to get the ball to Drake London, 10 targets, but just 4 catches for 42. The fourth down play where, again, Bijan's off the field and they try to, the defense, there's a good breakdown where San Fran exactly knew from tape where they were going with the play, almost got a pick. So, we talked about a little more imagination. This is so frustrating because we think we've got the horses. That's a tough road game. We get it in San Francisco. But with all the injuries and all the things they were dealing with, that's a game we got to win. You're going to build on that Buffalo. You don't go backwards.
Mike, Day, it's Dukes and Bell, guys. This is our pre-show on a Monday after the Sunday night game against the 49ers. And we're going to be all over this today talking about it. We'll talk plenty about the Dawgs as well. Look, they might be a national contender with the way Gunnar Stockton's playing. They just might be. But I don't want to discount what Georgia Tech's doing. Mike said this weeks ago, that Georgia Tech-Georgia game at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is going to be huge the day after Thanksgiving. Now, it's starting to build. It's going to feel big. But as we talk about the Falcons, I was just going to say, Mike, the funny thing about last night was you talk about trying to get Drake involved. What did you think about the 4th and 1 play where they don't run Bijan and they throw to Drake? Yeah. Ball is tipped, but it ends up Drake has a chance to catch it. But did you like that play?
No, I don't like that play. And look, I know we debated the pistol, but when you're 4th and 1, you got a guy 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That's where Algier was. I don't like the schematics of it, and I get it. They're going to the bread and butter. It's 9-5, but the 49ers had it. They knew it. They were anticipating it, and they stopped it. And I think it's too cute. I mean, I don't like our short yardage. Our red zone continues to be a mystery. Very frustrating. Look, you hold a 49er team to 20 points on the road, despite other things. You're supposed to win that game. Offense did not hold up to its side. And Zach Robinson, he frustrates me week in, week out. Even when we win sometimes, he's frustrating me. And Coach Ra, I mean, you got to get a handle on this. The clock management, you talked about it, Penix, that's a mistake you can't make. That ball's got to go beyond the line of scrimmage. So we lost it on the runoff. We're giving up points before the half. Good teams don't do that.
What's crazy too, Carl, about you guys saying how they rode their horse and Christian McCaffrey? They had George Kittle back last night, and he only had 2 targets.
0
targets.
He was a blocker. He was an inline blocker the entire night.
Yeah.
But you know why? Because Shanahan is great at thinking and calculating what people think. Kittle's back. They're going to go to him all night. No, we're not. He may not have been 100%. We don't even know. But he didn't do that. He was out there because you have to account for him. But the whole game plan was still based around their best player. What we're telling you, Atlanta, what we're telling you, Dukes and Bell fans, what we're telling you, 92.9 The Game listeners, you have one of the best players in the league and you don't ride him. Why?
You know what's funny? They came out the half and they got that great kickoff return from Jamal Agnew. It's a 6-play drive, and of those 6 plays, Bijan touched the ball 4 times. And I sent you all the text. I said, guys, this half, Bijan needs to touch the ball at least 30 times.
Yep.
Did not happen. He needed to touch the ball 30 times second half because at this point, he was averaging, I think, at that point, maybe 6-7 yards a touch. Give him the ball, ride him. the same way the Niners right now are riding McCaffrey, and they didn't do it.
Nope.
Yeah,
we talked
it
about
felt like that Penix was putting the ball in the air too much a little bit to me. I felt like they were going to the air a little more than they need, that they really needed to be.
Right, and maybe some screens. I mean, get the guys out, get the athletes out in space. Some of that imagination just wasn't there. Look, Orin said it. They bullied us on the line of scrimmage. They dominated. Elijah Wilkinson, look, that was the first day he was a turnstile. And they were just busting all over it. Linebacker play was amazing for the 49ers. You mentioned Kittle. Kittle didn't have any stats, but Kittle was blocking. He was opening things up for McCaffrey. And then again, hey, the game's on the line. 3rd and 13, and we got 10 men on the field.
You lose him. How do you, on that play, at that moment, you rush 3, which I don't understand why you do that either. You rush 3, you play coverage, got 8 guys back, and McCaffrey finds a soft spot and
actually
completely just unabated. Yeah. That first, like, how do you, of the one guy that you cannot lose on that play down the field, that's the one guy who catches the football and gets the first down.
All right, guys, we are going to talk to you today. We want to take your phone calls. We want to talk to you. You can hit us up on social media, our text line, all the ways to communicate with the show, starting at 2. We will also tell you what's wrong with the quarterback. Make sure you're there at 2 o'clock today. All right, we'll talk to you guys then.